Hello students and welcome to yet another session on MIL English. In today's session, we are going to cover two subtopics, 2.2 and 2.3. Under 2.2, we have a short story titled Dust on the Mountains by the famous writer Ruskin Bond. Under 2.3, we have speaking practice where we will learn certain skills to enhance our speaking in day-to-day life. Let us go through the short biography of the writer Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Anglo-Indian author. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, was published in 1956 and it received the John Lennon Rees Prize in 1957. Bond has authored more than 500 short stories, essays, and novels, including 64 books for children. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for the book titled Our Trees Still Grow in Dera. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. He lives with his adopted family in Mussoorie. Ruskin Bond was born on 19 May 1934 in Kasoli, British India. His father taught English to the Princess of Jamnagar Palace and Ruskin and his sister Ellen lived there till he was 6. Later, Ruskin's father joined the Royal Air Force in 1939 and Ruskin, along with his mother and sister, went to live at his maternal home at Dehradun. Shortly after that, he was sent to a boarding school in Mussoorie. When Ruskin was 8 years old, his mother separated from his father and married a Punjabi Hindu named Hari. His father arranged for Ruskin to be brought to New Delhi where he was posted. He was very close to his father and describes this period with his father as one of the happiest times of his life. When he was 10, his father died during the war while he was posted in Calcutta. Ruskin was at his boarding school in Shimla and was informed about this tragedy by his teacher. He was thoroughly heartbroken. Later, he was raised by his mother and stepfather who lived in Dehradun. He did his schooling from Bishop Cotton School in Shimla, from where he graduated in 1959. He won several writing competitions in the school. He wrote one of his first short stories, Untouchable, at the age of 16 in 1951. Following his high school education, he went to his aunt's home in the Channel Islands, UK in 1951 for better prospects and stayed there for 2 years. In London, when he was 17 years old, he started writing his first novel, The Room on the Roof, the semi-autobiographical story of the orphaned Anglo-Indian boy named Rusty, where he did various jobs for a living. He moved to London and worked in a photo studio while searching for a publisher. After getting it published, Bond used the advance money to pay the sea passage to Bombay and settle in Dehradun. He worked for a few years freelancing for Delhi and Dehradun. He sustained himself financially by writing short stories and poems for newspapers and magazines. On his youth, he said, "Sometimes I got lucky and some work got selected and I earned a few hundred rupees. Since I was in my 20s and didn't have any responsibilities, I was just happy to be doing what I loved doing best." In 1963, he went to live in Mussoorie because besides liking the place, it was close to the editors and publishers in Delhi. He edited a magazine for 4 years. In 1980s, Penguin set up in India and approached him to write some books. He had written Vagrants in the Valley in 1956 as a sequel to The Room on the Roof. These two novels were published in one volume by Penguin India in 1993. The following year, a collection of his non-fiction writings, The Best of Ruskin Bond, was published by Penguin India. His interest in supernatural fiction led him to write popular titles such as Ghost Stories from the Raj, A Season of Ghosts, and A Face in the Dark and Other Hauntings. Since then, he has written over 500 short stories, essays, and novels, including The Blue Umbrella, Funny Side Up, A Flight of Pigeons, and more than 50 books for children. He has also published his autobiography, Scenes from a Writer's Life, describes his formative years growing up in Anglo-India, and a further autobiography, Lone Fox Dancing, was published in 2017. The Lamp is Lit is a collection of essays and episodes from his journal. Since 1963, he has lived as a freelance writer in Mussoorie, a town in the Himalayan foothills in Uttarakhand, where he lives with his adoptive family in Mussoorie's Ivy Cottage, which has been his home since 1980. Asked what he likes the most about his life, he said that I have been able to write for so long. I started at the age of 17 or 18 and I am still writing. If I were not a professional writer who was getting published, I would still write. In his essay, Scenes from a Writer's Life, he explains his Indian identity. Race did not make me one. Religion did not make me one. But history did. And in the long run, it is history that counts. Most of his works are influenced by life in the hill stations at the foothills of the Himalayas, where he spent his childhood. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, was written when he was 60 and published when he was 21. It was partly based on his experiences at Dehradun, in his small rented room on the roof, and his friends. His earlier works were written without it being meant for any particular readership. His first children's book, Angry River, published in 1970s, and it writing toned down on a publisher's request for a children's story. On writing for children, he said, I had pretty lonely childhood and it helps me to understand a child better. Bond's work reflects his Anglo-Indian experiences and the changing political, social and cultural aspects of India, having been through colonial, post-colonial and post-independence phases of India. Bond said that while his autobiographical work, Rain in the Mountains, was about his years spent in Mussoorie, Scenes from a Writer's Life described in his first 21 years. Scenes from a Writer's Life focuses on Bond's trip to England, his struggle to find a publisher to his first book, The Room on the Roof, and his yearning to come back to India, particularly to Doon. It also tells a lot about his parents. The book ends with the publication of his first novel and his decision to make writing his livelihood. Being a writer for over 50 years, Bond experimented with different genres. Early works include fiction, short stories, novella, with some being autobiographical. Later, he tried out non-fictional, romance and books for children. He said his favorite genres are essays and short stories. He considers himself a visual writer because for short stories, he first imagines it like a film and then notes it down. For an essay or travelogue, such planning is not needed for him. He feels the unexpected there makes it more exciting. Bond likes Just William by Rickmal Crompton, Billy Bunter by Charles Hamilton, and classics such as Alice in Wonderland and works by Charles Dickens and Mark Twain. In 1978, the Bollywood film Junoon is based on Bond's novel A Flight of Pigeons, about an episode during the Indian Rebellion of 1857. It was produced by Shashi Kapoor and directed by Shyam Benegal. The Rusty stories have been adapted in a Doordarshan TV series Ek Tha Rusty. Several stories have been incorporated into the school curriculum in India, including The Night Train in Delhi, Time Stops at Shamli, and Our Trees Still Grow in Dera. In 2005, the Bollywood director Vishal Bharadwaj made a film based on his popular novel for children, The Blue Umbrella. The movie won the National Film Award for Best Children's Film. Ruskin Bond made his maiden big screen appearance with Vishal Bharadwaj's film Saath Khoon Maaf in 2011, based on his short story Suana's Seven Husbands. Bond appears as a bishop in the movie with Priyanka Chopra playing the title role. Bond had earlier collaborated with Bharadwaj in The Blue Umbrella, which was also based on one of his work. Now let us discuss the theme and plot and the storyline of Dust on the Mountain. Dust on the Mountain by Ruskin Bond highlights the grim issues of deforestation on the mountains in the wake of modernization. Vishnu lives with his younger sister and mother in a very small village of Teri Garhwal. Since the mountains have received scanty rainfall and bare minimum snowfall last year, as a result, orchards of fruits and farming in the field have yielded minimum output. The streams and rivers that descend from the peaks are shallow and dry, so the villagers are facing the problems of inadequate ration and fail to obtain any income from the farming related works. To save his family from starvation, Vishnu goes to Mussoorie, much opposite to his family's wish. Since summer is a happy time in Mussoorie and the place is full of tourists from the plain areas, after many attempts, he finds a job in a cinema hall as a tea seller during the interval. There he meets two other boys, Chitru and Bali. They all become friends and work as per the orders. However, Chitru and Vishnu become close friends as they sleep in a corridor at night and they brave the chill night breeze that comes from the mountains. Vishnu is satisfied with his work and life. However, as September approaches, the cinema shuts down for winter. Bali moves to Delhi for work while Chitru and Vishnu go to a mine site in the hope of getting work. There, the contractor keeps Chitru for the work but rejects Vishnu on account of underage. Understanding the plight of his fate, Pritham, a Sikh truck owner, takes Vishnu as a cleaner on his truck. Vishnu receives good salary from him and they become good friends. They work for the mine site where deforestation and blasting of mountains are common for generating lime powder. However, Vishnu feels sickening at the sight of mountains losing their green shine and becoming dusty like plain areas. One day, in an attempt to save a mule being crushed under the truck topples and goes rolling down in a valley until it is stopped by a strong tree. Vishnu and other laborers manage to escape the accident, but Pritham is brutally wounded. In the hospital, Vishnu says that if they were not stopped by the tree, they would have died by falling in the valley. Pritham decides to live with his sons and Vishnu goes back to his village to take care of his family and the nature around him. Now let us go through the subunit 2.3, the road to glory, how to improve English spoken skills. You are now, in order to improve your speaking skills, you are going to need patience, hard work, mental strength and willingness to learn with a new view to passing this road smoothly. Let me remind you, things will not be like a cakewalk. The first thing, double or nothing. There are basically two sides of speaking English. One is physical, where your mouth needs to produce and connect English sounds and words in a proper and smooth way. And the other side is mental, where your brain needs to find the right words and by putting them together, build a fine sentence quickly. Then the brain will deliver it to your mouth so it can deliver it verbally. Your skill of English spoken needs both of these two sides. If one of the sides doesn't work, you will not have the fluency to speak in English. It will like this: if you are a fast thinker, your brain works fast, your brain puts up those words, vocabularies and delivers it to your mouth, but your mouth cannot connect quickly and smoothly. Then you will find yourself stammering in the middle of your conversation. Therefore, you need a fine synchronization of both the sides. Now, the next is the best way to heat up the skill is to talk to a native English speaker on a daily basis. You can manage a coach if that is possible, but it's actually pretty hard for everyone to manage that. That's why I will be speaking about how you can do it on your own with the resources within yourself. The next one is slow down, you're not in a race. While talking English, try to slow down your speed. Otherwise, there will be no clarity. You will end up stammering but not finding appropriate words. You will be speaking wrong and meaningless words and sounds. So you need to slow down your speed and make your words clear to the listener. Any great speaker does so. You can listen to them sometimes if you want to. While you are talking, before saying a sentence at first, think what you are going to say. Put the words into a sentence in your head and then deliver it. If you think a sentence before saying it, there will be no topidity in your voice anymore. You will be able to say it smoothly and fluently. Next is listen, listen and listen carefully. Learn to listen very carefully when you hear any conversation in English of native speakers, and you need to listen it carefully. How do they pronounce? The flow of speaking is another thing to follow. Moreover, you will also be able to learn some new vocabulary. Uh, Next comes confidence is the key. If you are about to improve your English spoken skills, you must grow some confidence first. Don't get nervous while talking. It's the biggest enemy. Proper or improper, keep talking in English. Destroy the tar of fear. Keep practicing, keep talking and have some belief in yourself. Gradually, you will be able to overcome the fear and then you go. Then there is no stopping after that. The last one in this list is go out there and speak. When you are with your friends, try to speak in English. Keep talking to them for a long time in English. When you are with your family, run all conversations in English. Even when you're alone, stand before the mirror and talk to yourself in English. Question yourself and answer to that too, all in English. Stop texting, make phone calls, keep practicing on your own all day. Start using simple day-to-day words in the beginning. Next is bye-bye hesitation. If you have to bid a farewell to the hesitation and grow your natural fluency, all you need to do is talk, talk and talk. Don't feel shy to talk even if you are not talking proper English. No one learns anything overnight. If you keep talking gradually, you will get the confidence and that will help your fluency. The imitation game. Imitation is a highly effective way to improve English spoken skills. You watch or you hear a conversation and then say those dialogues yourself. You don't have to say those exact words. Make a gist of the context in your own way. You can listen to some conversations with native speaker. If possible, you should record them and then listen to that again and again. Recording helps big time. It helps you to help you with pronunciation as well. Moreover, you will be able to find out your mistakes on your own, and thus you will also find a way how to get rid of these mistakes, and it also gives you an idea about how much improvement you need to get the level of skill you are aiming for. Retell a story in English. It is another great way to boost up your English spoken skills. Read some English story, then you tell that story aloud. You don't need to say those exact words in the book. Tell the story as you want to. It will make you prepare for actual conversations, and it opens up your mind. Improve fluency. It will more effective if you record it and listen again to find out your lackings. Movies, TV shows, songs, they're more than mere entertainment. You definitely love to watch movies and listen to songs. Who doesn't? Watching movies, listening to songs can boost up your English spoken skills. It is a form of implicit learning. You are not looking for any grammar or rules or the structures of sentences. You are learning how they speak, in what environment they use which expressions. One simple word or sentence can mean different meanings under different circumstances. Better, watch the movies without any subtitles. You will be able to concentrate on the pronunciation and expressions then. As a bonus, you will be able to learn some phrases. Phrases like as a matter of fact, let me make it clear, and so on. These phrases work as buffers that give you some extra time to think and say your next words, sentences. It naturally increases your fluency and you are not out of words so easily then. The next is whenever you get opportunity, try to learn new words. The more words you know, the more fluent you are. You will never be out of words in your head. By learning vocabulary, try to learn in groups or chunks of words like a cup of tea, a glass of wine, etc. It's better than learning tea, wine separately. Acquire the natural flow of the language. You're often being able to speak individual words perfectly, but sometimes it ruins the rhythm of the flow of the language. While reading a piece of poetry or novel and while watching a movie or enjoying a song, if you notice closely, you can see a few things. You need to look up for 4 facts. Linking, contractions, stress, and rhythm. Linking is, as you know it, listen closely to some native speakers. Notice how they link 2 different sounds into one. It makes sounds more euphonic. Contractions merge 2 words into one. For example, I am, and then abbreviations of all these things. There are some stressed and unstressed syllables in sentences that play a very important role in pronunciation. And lastly, rhythm is the outcome of linking, contractions, and stress. Then the last one is learn phrases and idioms. There are plenty of phrases and idioms. Phrases and idioms are a group of words that acts as a specific meaning. These phrases and idioms make the sentences more audible. For example, you can, how are you feeling today? But a native speaker will say, how are you doing? And what's up? One of the most important tools for improving English spoken skills can be learning English phrases and idioms. So try to learn English phrases rather than learning individual words. Also, you should take a look at the most common words in English language. These words will help you speak English better. Now you will have a question in your mind. Is that all? After going through this long session, you might be thinking, is it all? Will I be able to improve my spoken English if I follow these methods? I hope so. The capability of learning isn't the same for everyone, though. Our brains work in different ways. So it is you who have to find out the most suitable method for you. No one knows you better than yourself. You should pick your way and do it accordingly. With this, we have come to the end of the session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. You have learned certain points. Uh, don't forget to go through the swellings which have been provided to you. Go through these links to get more content on it. And thank you, and see you in one more session.